Why did Allah send both the prophets to relay his message and the holy books to contain his message? Could he have just sent one of them? Let's find out in this week's Q&A video. Let's start off the video with an example, just like how I always do. Now, imagine that you have a class, and you're taking this class for the semester, and there's only one final. You are not given a single textbook, and you're not given a single teacher either. Now, imagine how it would go throughout the semester. You need to study, so what are you gonna do? You don't have it. You don't have the textbook. All right, well, you're gonna go to class to learn. There's no teacher to learn. Your teacher isn't up there writing the notes on what you have to learn and teaching you through videos maybe on YouTube. And also you can't even go home and open a textbook and start studying and start taking notes that way. So the final comes, and even if you did study for 10 hours, what did you study? You don't even know what topic the exam's on. It's inevitable you're going to fail. Now, would you say this is fair or unfair? Of course, it's unfair. Now, there's a lot of times when we use Allah's names throughout our videos, but there's one name in particular that I used a lot. It's Al-Adl, which means the just, which is another way of saying the one that is fair. We know that Allah is just and fair. To back this up, we can look in the Quran in the Surah Al-Isra, where it states, "We would never punish anyone until we have sent a messenger to warn them." And therefore, a prophet is integral to being your teacher, your role model in this life, in Islam. It would be very unfair to not have a teacher to guide you through the way. Yeah, you might have the textbook, but you really need that role model, that teacher, to guide you on wherever you need to go in your life. Think about all the times that we're doing the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, even if I told you this, you may still wonder, why not just hand over the book? Why do we really need these prophets? I'll explain it this way. Let's say you still have that class, except this time I gave you a textbook. And you have that textbook and you're studying it, you're taking notes every night at home. But you go to class and you're still just sitting there and you have your textbook, sure, you can look at it. But you don't have a teacher that's up in the board showing every single detail and every single interpretation, which is really important, that will help you pass your exam. You can get a bunch of information just go into your brain. However, if you have a teacher who is mastered all of the stuff that you're reading, then it sort of acts as like a filter. It acts as the role model that I was talking about before that helps you, guide you to understand that information way better than you did before with just the textbook. Also, think about how much more impactful it is to hear about a story of one of our prophets, about the struggles they go through and what they did and what they had to do, and taking that into account versus reading it in a holy book and saying, oh, this is what you have to do when you go through this struggle, or this is what you need to do. Of course, that is important as well. But when you hear it as a story, as a human being just like us, the prophets, had to go through, yet they overcame it, it's a whole different type of level. Okay, so we discussed how important the prophets are, but now you may be thinking, so what's the point of the books if these prophets are so important? There are many clear reasons to why the Quran had to be brought down to earth. Firstly, it's to consult with when there's a disagreement in population. It's to bring justice to people. It's also for people that are trapped in the dark that need to get into the light. And most importantly, it's to warn the people that are doing wrong and embrace the ones that are doing right. Also, the prophets aren't alive anymore. They're not here to show us what's going on, what we need to do. We can, of course, read their stories, but they're not here. What is here are the holy books. They are our direct access to Allah's words. To summarize the example, if I put you inside of a rocket science class right now, and I just gave you a textbook, you would fail the class. You need a teacher to explain you the fine details. Now, if I put you in that rocket science class again, but only now with a teacher, you're going to fail it again. Because the class is aren't going to be just easy to keep up with. You're going to need that external help. You're going to need that textbook in order to study harder. Allah has sent both His prophets and the holy books. These two things are in perfect harmony together, with Prophet Muhammad and the Quran being at the forefront. They are what's going to lead us to the afterlife. Most importantly, think of it this way. We said that one of Allah's names is Al-Adl, which is the just one, the fair one. And if we were missing either one of those two things that I've mentioned, the prophets or the holy books, it would just be an unfair test for us. It's not benefiting Allah to send two of them. It's benefiting us. It's like a cheat sheet. Allah just wants us to be prepared for the afterlife as much as possible.